think this thing is going. Kind of introduce yourself as you're coming in. Got a few minutes till we get started here. Thank you very much for the hearts. And as you come in, just introduce yourself so I kind of know who's here. Good afternoon. Well, morning over here still. Still Pacific time. About another minute or so and we'll kind of get going. Yes, the BTT. Right? Hello there. All right. What time is 11 o'clock Periscope? 11 o'clock. So for everybody out there, my name is Tim Herron. My email is timherron69@gmail.com. I have a blog as well called wallocksword.com. And my YouTube channel is Tim Herron, HARRON, Longevity. So sign up for that so you get all the latest things. A little recap of what we did last time was I solely defined what an entrepreneur is for me. And then a couple of the questions that I got were in that regard as what does being an entrepreneur mean to you? So there were some of the responses I got I went over in my Webisode on the first one. So if you didn't catch that, go take a look at that. And you know, that was the entrepreneur versus wantrepreneur. So as I do every single time I come on, I'm going to ask you guys a question. Send your answer to my email along with some questions or something that you just comes to mind, whatever it is. And so this question was actually brought up in one of the emails, and I want to touch on that, and it was actually perfect because it kind of segued into my second episode here. The question is, what does your day look like? You know? What does it look like for you? And so I want you to respond to what does that look like? Because every entrepreneur or person who wants to be an entrepreneur has to have some sort of a structure to their day. Okay? So is your day structured for success. As you're going through what your day is like, these are the things I want you to think for yourself, right? As you're going through your day, as you're going through your list of things, as you're thinking about, first, what is your day? What does your day look like? And then all these questions I want you to ask yourself. Is your day structured for success, right? Being busy doesn't make you productive or make you profitable. I hear a lot of times that people say, well, I'm busy. But if you're not being productive and you're not being profitable, being busy, you're just wasting time. You're wasting your own time, and chances are you're wasting other people's time, right? So do you have a routine? What is your routine? Every great entrepreneur has some sort of a routine, okay? Every great athlete, every great business person has some sort of a routine that makes them great. I'm going to give you one example for people in the sports world. I know either you are or you aren't, but at least you can follow this. The NBA's been around for, countless years now. And there's a player there called Steph Curry. And Steph right now is just on an unbelievable pace to break his own record that he broke his own record the last year on 3-point April. He hit 77 three-pointers in a row. 70. He just didn't wake up shooting three-pointers and say, oh, I got it. It's practice. He got it from his father. All his brothers are the same way. It's practice after practice after practice. This year, before the NBA All-Star break, through the halfway season, we're not even in the halfway part of the season, he's hit 232. And play. So imagine if he was playing, how many he would get. His old record was 286. And he's at 232, and they're not even at the halfway part of the season. Why? Practice. He practices it over and over and over and over. It's his routine. They've got to the point now where they're opening up the arenas early just to let him in to shoot. People are coming to watch him shoot, something that he'd just been doing his whole life. Ball handling, shooting, that over and over again. Hitting 232 shots before the halfway, three-pointers before the halfway mark of the season isn't by accident. It's by design. So is what you're doing by accident or by design? The great entrepreneurs, the majority of them, it's not by accident, it's by design. They're structured for success. They have a routine that works. And preparation. It's not just when I talk about preparation, like Steph and everybody else. It's your mind. You have to prepare your mind for success. You have to prepare your body for success, and you have to prepare your spirit for success. And those all three are very important. When you're going through life as an entrepreneur, you're going to have amazing ups, amazing highs, and amazing lows. We all have them, right? It's how you deal with them that matters, okay? So you have to be prepared, okay? There's a quote that I want to put out there from one of the best business minds that I believe in our lifetime, okay? Risk comes from not knowing what you're doing, and that's by Warren Buffett, okay? When people say, oh, this is risky or this is risky, it's because you don't know what you're doing. So of course there's a lot of risk. You have no idea. But if you're prepared, if you practice, if you do the same thing over and over again in your routine, it becomes second nature. So your habits are very important, okay? So somebody asked me a question last week, so I'll go over, they asked me what my routine is. I have two things in my life that I'm doing right now. I have my business with Longevity. That's one that I do. And the second one that I got into now is I write novels. Actually, I can say I'm a writer. I haven't written novels. I wrote novels, they're coming out. Okay, my should be out, the first one out the end of this month, beginning of March, give or take. So those are the two things that I focus on. But my routine starts at 4 o'clock in the morning for me. I'm up at 4, maybe 4:30, okay? And I get my coffee. I'm a coffee junkie, so I get that for sure. Get my coffee, I watch a little Mike and Mike on ESPN, a little bit of sports show that I enjoy just to get a little bit going. I'll do my social media things, which because of my longevity business, I do a lot of things on social media like this. So I'll get some of that in, and I'll kind of clear my mind a little bit there, kind of get going, let the coffee get in me, and then I'm going to make some food because I know that I need to get fueled for my mind, for my spirit, for my body, for everything. I need to be fueled. I need that energy to keep me going for my creative process, whether it's the writing or something with longevity. So, and I'm always doing something creative, whether it's in my mind or it's a physical action, I'm being creative. So that's where mind starts for me. And so whatever it is that I'm doing, then I'm getting into it. And I'll space it out. I won't do everything in one shot. I won't do all longevity one day. I won't do writing all in one day, typically. I'll break it up so that I can have a little bit of a break, but it's scheduled, it's structured. I'm going to say, look, I'm going to do writing for 2-3 hours. I might help some people on my team for for the hour. I'll schedule that out. Okay, great. I have calls from 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock. Fantastic. I'm going to do that there. I'm going to work with my team and help them build their business. Great. Okay. Some things will come up in there that, that will break into my routine, but that's okay too. That's just the nature of the thing. Like, not everything is going to have, is it going to be perfect, but you have to have your base structure about what you're doing, right? So for me, it's my little bit of a routine in the morning, get myself up. I'm always up early because that's just my mind. As soon as I get up, as soon as my eyes open, I'm awake. I can't go back to sleep. My mind is going about what I want to do and what I want to create or whatever the case may be. So that's a little bit of my routine. And then I go into, at some point in the day, I'll grab a workout, wherever it is. Usually it's later on at night, or sometimes it's first thing in the morning, depending on where I have to do certain things throughout my day. So what is your routine for you? That's a little bit about mine, but I'm always doing something. I have 2 things right now that's my major focus, and that's what I focus on. First and foremost, right? That's where my passions are, and that's where my heart is. You're going to be approached by people to do one thing or another, to another, but doesn't make sense for you. Is it your passion? Is it your vision? Right? Is that where you're blazing your trail? So get your routine down. What is your routine? So I want you to send me that in. What does your day look like? What is your routine? Send me to that email, timharron69@gmail.com. I'll answer those in the Tuesday Webisode. Okay. You'll have better reward by lowering the risk and being prepared. Okay? You'll have better reward by lowering the risk by being prepared. It's very simple. Very, very simple. Excuse me. Grab some of my BTT. And a lot of that comes from, from mind conditioning. I'm always going to throw some things in there about your mindset. I put it in there in the first one. I'm going to do it in the second. I'll do it in every single one of these 10 parts of the series because your mind is very important. So great. Mind conditioning. You have to condition your mind for success. You have to condition your mind for going over those hurdles that are going to happen, right? Don't let them deviate you from your course. You have to have a strong state of mind. It has to be a positive state of mind. The first one I said was going to be your positive mindset, right? To mind conditioning, condition your mind for that success. There's always time for the important things, and even though those important things aren't important to you yet. Okay? and I'm going to say this for a second. There's always time for the important things, even those important things aren't important to you yet. So some people are saying, what does that mean? Okay, great. You might not realize that they're important, but they're important. Your structure, your routine. Okay? Those are very, very important parts of someone's success. You might not think that they are. Some people say, well, hey, we need to do this, we need to do this, we need to do this, we need to do this. You might not think they are, but they're very important, right? So, and you have to find time for those things. So I want to bring into excuses, okay? Excuses. People will always have an excuse for one thing or another. Well, I don't have time. No, you just have poor time management, okay? You're always going to find time for the things that you deem important. Even if so you have to come to realize, are they important to you yet? Is this important for my overall success? Okay? So that's very important there. Condition your mind for success. It starts with a great routine. It starts with great preparation. It starts with doing the same thing over and over. But be careful, because sometimes the same thing you do over and over, if it's not giving you the desired results that you want, they call that insanity. Right? We want to be successful, but we don't want to be insane. If you're doing the same thing over and over again and getting the same desired result that's negative, but keep doing it, that's the definition of insanity. Right? Tweak your things, move them around, but do the things that you need to do to be successful, and that all comes into your preparation. So please, if you don't have a routine, get into a routine. It has to be structured for success. Do you have a routine that's structured for success? So like I said, mine is my coffee, a little bit of Sports Center, get my mind going, kind of things that I love. And then I get into whatever my day. Publishers. So one or the other. So my day is broken up between my longevity, my writing, and helping my team somewhere in there. That's typically my days there. But it starts very early, about 4:30 in the morning. And typically I'm usually in bed anywhere between 9 to midnight, somewhere in there, depending on what happens. If I go to the gym, sometimes it's midnight. If I go at late, sometimes it's midnight or 1 in the morning, and I'll get that 3-4 hours of sleep. But my body is still fine, My mind is at ease. I can go to sleep at the drop of a hat because my mind is at rest. I know that that's my time to rest, so I'm going to go to bed. Real quick here, is there any questions that you can think of? You can just type those right in. If there's any questions you want me to answer right away here. Don't be shy. All right, I'll keep going as you're doing that. What I want you to do, so send me the email. What does your day look like? What's your routine? And as you're doing that, think, am I structured for the success? How far do I plan? Great question. I typically plan now. I mean, it's a difficult question because I'm planning years in advance. So that's my plan, right? Depending on what we're talking about. If we're talking about, like I said, from my book, I started my book in 1999. planning for this time. So if you really think about that, I wrote the first half a page in 1999, and now here we are getting a publishing deal in 2016. So, I said, okay, this is what I want to do. Now's not the time, but I'm going to plan for this later on. When I set the period of time aside, then I'll get into it. Like for longevity, for instance, I have to plan on the first. What's my goal? Am I going to rank advance? Am I going to do this? Am I going to do that? Now I have to go out and do all these different things because you just can't do it on the last day. You have to do it from the first day going forward. So I always plan like that. For any business, if I'm in business, I have to plan 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 moves ahead because things will change. And you have to take your mind from where you are at this point in time to into the future. Because that's where your business is going to be. Your business isn't where it is now, it's where it's going to be. And so you have to project yourself into the future where that's going to be. And you have to build. And that's what I'm saying. Those steps along the way between where you are now and then, that's the process. That's the trailblazing. That's the trail making. That's the vision. You see your vision down the future, down the line, and then you have to prepare all those things. So every great entrepreneur has to be thinking far ahead. It's not what's now, it's what's coming up. What's the next invention? What's the next part of my company that's going to work? Because if I'm stopped thinking about this one thing, now I'm stuck. Now I'm pigeonholed. Okay? It's not about what's here. It's about what's coming up. This is already happening. The things that are happening now, you prepared for before. The things that are happening in the future, you're preparing for now. So when you get to it, like Steph Curry in the NBA, okay, great. When he gets to the NBA and when he's in that game, he's already prepared. He's already shooting all those threes because he's already done the work. So he's thinking years ahead. He started when he was a kid doing that. With the training, the successive training, the training and training and training. So you're always thinking way ahead. What am I doing now that's going to help me in the future? All the time, like I said, when you have your best routines, okay, that's preparing you for your future. If you just have willy-nilly and you do whatever it is that you want to do in the course of a day, that's not preparing anything. You're not preparing yourself for anything. You're preparing yourself for failure. And chances are that's what you get. So you have to prepare yourself for the success, but it's what you're doing now, preparing yourself for the future. So the things that you do now are preparing yourself for the future. So for instance, give me an idea of what you were talking about as far as like your preparation, how far in advance? Because that was a great question. Drink some more BTT here. I drink this all day. This is my drink. I don't know if everybody here is in longevity, but that is it right there. All day, day and night. I substitute it with everything else. Yeah, 3 months ahead. And it all depends on what we're talking about, okay? Depends on what project it is or whatever the case may be. When I was making movies, we prepped, months in advance. I mean, as soon as we got in, we're thinking the project, we're thinking distribution, we're thinking, we didn't even do the film yet. We didn't even get the cast together. But we're thinking all those things down the line because that is the project. You can't think about distribution and get into the film, start a film, then get into distribution. For instance, so when we're signing actors to our films, we look for value. Where they have their value. So if we have, for instance, Kevin Costner, okay, great. Kevin Costner will give us $5 million in Italy, $10 million in Asia, and we do all these different things, and then we plug him in. Great. So we have to have planning. We have to have strategic planning. And what is the goal? What is the vision? That'll help you with your planning. is my goal. You know, we're going to have goals. You should have daily goals, weekly goals, monthly goals, yearly goals, lifetime goals, all these things that are to help you with your planning process. So, you know, you break down your goals from day, you know, to week, to month, to year, and that'll help you with your planning process. But yeah, have to be thinking forward at all times, you know, because if you're thinking, so if you're thinking solely about the moment's already happening. So you have to project yourself into the future, you know, and prepare yourself for the what ifs, or what's going to be, or what could be. That's where you have to prepare yourself. Absolutely. So it just depends, like I said, whatever business, but you always have to prepare yourself for the future. You know, prepare for the worst, you know, while still planning for the best. You have to plan for the worst. What if this goes completely left field? Now what do I do? You know, these are all scenarios that you have to run through in your head. Okay, this happens. Okay, now if this happens, what happens here? If this comes up, am I prepared for something else? You have to be able to, you know, move around with your plans. They have to be versatile. I said that in the first one. They have to be versatile plans. So send me an email. I won't take up much more of your time. Send me the email to timheron69@gmail.com. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Like them. Like my posts. Do everything there. Share them. That's what they're there for. This, like I said, for now, this is the free information. So get it while you can. What does your routine look like? And are you structured for success? Send me the email if there's some other questions that you have that wasn't answered here. If they come up later on, send them to me. I'll address them for sure. Okay? So I want to thank everybody for coming on, and thank you. Enjoy your day and be prosperous.